Sponsored by CanadianModelRailroad.ca and by donations from patrons like you.
Further support provided by Frog and Diamond Hobby Work, largest little hobby shop in Winnipeg.
And now on with the show with your hosts, Peter.
Well,
and
Peter,
Joe.
what time it is?
It's train time.
Episode 48.
48, end of our fourth year.
Yes, that's the season final
Yes.
for season 4.
And it's Christmas time.
Yes. Ho, 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 ho.
Oh, ho. Yeah.
So, because it's Christmas, I got a little Christmas story about the Scale family.
Okay.
So we'll go to that, and then we'll be back.
And we'll hear the story of Christmas.
Once upon a train time. On a snowy Christmas Eve, the Scale family, Grandpa and Grandma O. Scale, Mom and Dad, O.O. and H.O. Scale, the children, N. Scale, and their youngest newborn, Z. Scale, nestle around the Christmas tree in a little hobby shop. All the N. Scale children laughing and giggling. Get on your track, little one, and be quiet, and I will tell you the story of Christmas. And don't wake up your baby brother, Z-Scale, Mom says. Now the N-Scale children, all quiet and comfortably nestled, ask, "How did you meet Dad?" "Well, Burlington," she says, "many years ago as I was waiting behind that old station, big M630 stopped beside me, and with a double horn blow and a flash of its light, he told me, 'Aren't you looking sexy, my little RS3?' I blushed like a CN front end, and as they say, it was love at first whistle. Your dad, Big M, was always traveling to faraway destination, and I stay here making sure Big M was always ready for his travel and raising my little N baby. Right now your dad, O.O. Scale, is all decked out and going from town to town, spreading the joy of Christmas. What about Grandpa and Grandma?" "Well, Sue, your Grandpa, a proud F1A, and Grandma, a F1B, who always follow Grandpa wherever he goes, now retire and living at the museum, like every year, are making their way to the North Pole." "Why are they going to the North Pole, Ma?" "Well, Union Pacific, they are going to help Great-Grandpa and Great-Grandma getting ready for the big Christmas trip." Suddenly, a little voice is raised, and Z-Scale asks, "What is the big Christmas trip, Ma?" Every year before Christmas, your great-grandpa, an old G-Scale 282 Mikado, with his grayish boiler and reddish cab, and still a lot of coal in the tender, along with G-Scale, great-grandma, a shy old Shay who helps slowly, I might say, with all the other helper in the train barn. The Hessler and the Climax prepare all the gift for all the children of the planet. Quiet, children. Stay on your track. Let me finish the story. A couple hours prior midnight on Christmas Eve, Great-Grandpa blew his whistle a few times, and Great-Grandma did the same to wish him a great trip, and then he let out the steam and leave the train barn. with all the car in tow full of gifts. Dasher, Dancer, Prancer, Vixen, Comet, Cupid, Donner, Blitzen, and on the rear, Rudolph the caboose with his blinking red nose. And with the click and the clack slowly fading, Great Grandpa lift to the sky his light, making the star glow, and all along the way, dropping gift into chimney for the good kids, and lump of coal for the naughty. You could on a clear Christmas night see Great Grandpa going from chimney to chimney and place to place, just like the northern light dancing, and hear his echo say, Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night.
You were to say something about the first part of the show.
The Christmas story.
The Christmas
The
story.
Christmas story, yes, that was very amusing. We got a big charge out of it.
Yes.
And hopefully our viewers get a charge out of it.
Well, I hope so too.
It's definitely train related, so hopefully all those train buffs and modelers out there
But what
catch the drift.
What they do not know, Peter, is how that story come about.
Yeah, in your dreams.
Absolutely. And that's totally true, folks. One night where I could hardly sleep for whatever reason. You know when your mind doesn't want to shut down,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And in my mind, I had that story coming in and so on. And it was pretty rough, but anyway. So right in the morning, having my coffee, I got on the computer and I start to lay that down on paper and start to correct it and rearrange it and so on and so on, and end up with the story that you got there, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Your wife Lorraine proofread it. And
Well,
edited.
didn't have much mistake in
No,
there.
no,
The grammar was okay and so on and so on. So I put the
It still had your French accent.
Well, that's okay. That's okay. And then I put the story into videos and narrated the story, because sometimes it's go too fast to read what is on the screen. But with an illustrator, it being a very good book for kids.
Yeah.
You know, we talk about all the scales in there.
Yeah.
We talk about many different type of locomotives
Yeah.
and so on.
Yeah. It's.
And I had the.
I know the crew here got a charge out of it.
Oh yeah. I took Rudolph instead of putting it in the front, I put it in the back.
Yes,
But
and the train, yeah.
people who don't know about trains might not like the story itself. But people who are in the hobbies, all along the story, they know exactly what we're talking about.
Yeah. So hopefully everybody enjoys it. It's a little different twist on the Christmas story. Yeah.
It's kind of based on the poem that being done in so many different ways the night before Christmas.
Before Christmas. Yeah.
That's about the tune that we got in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So let us know how you let us know how much you did like that story.
Yeah.
Sure like to know.
Yep.
Because if you don't like it, I ain't bringing it back next year.
Yeah. We, like I said, the crew here really enjoyed it. So.
Yeah, we had some good laughs. And that's the end. Christmas time.
Christmas time, yes.
You know, today would be a short show, really,
Yep.
for this month
Yep.
because of Christmas. But one thing I like to say, if you really want to make your loved one happy, the one who are in the model railroading,
Mm-hmm.
why don't you go see Tony at Frogs and Diamond?
Yes.
You know, he got about 1,000 idea plus of how you can make your loved one happy in a model railroad.
Well, me being on my own, I had him do 2 of my steam locomotives that have been sitting on the shelf for some time. He's put sound and decoders in them. So that was my Christmas present to myself. And I just picked up, I had 2 of them done. I just picked up the second one the other evening, and they sound terrific.
And there you go. You know, he has a ton of ideas there in the store, and everything there in the store is for about every budget.
Yeah.
So feel free to go visit him. You know, the address is on the advertising that we put in,
Yeah.
right? And he would be more than happy to help you.
Very
you know,
helpful.
Find something.
Very helpful.
Yes. As far as repairs and upgrading and so on concerned, in regards of model trains and so on, well, Tony has done that for Peter, did a fantastic job on what he was doing. So he does about everything, you know, decoders, repairs.
If you've got stuff that's you want to sell on consignment, he's good about looking at it and giving you a good appraisal.
Yes.
And I mean, he's got everything from his dollar box right up to brand new locomotives.
Yeah, and the fact is, he does it very honestly.
Yep.
That's in this trade is something that is new.
Yep.
You know, because a lot of places they look at your stuff and oh well, I'll give you $5 and so on, when technically it was 20. But at Tony's, no, it's not the way it works. You look at what you have in very detailed ways and then really appraise it so that everybody's happy.
Yep.
So don't hesitate to go visit Tony. It's worth the trip.
Yes, it's worth the trip, yes.
Yeah. So anyway, we got some series of pictures in here about the Christmas tree.
The Christmas train, CP Christmas train.
Yeah.
Went through Winnipeg, I believe, on the 2nd of December.
Yes. On the 3rd, it was in Nipua. My brother-in-law went and see it. It was short. It was in the afternoon, so it kind of take away the beautiful lighting
From
that
the
is on
lighting,
the train.
yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So Christmas season bring a lot of feelings and so on, and everybody want to make it special. You know. What you see for decoration here on the set is about as much as we do in the CMR, you know, as far as decoration is concerned. We got no Christmas train per se, but it's still enjoyable to run the train on the layout.
Oh, yeah.
Thinking about the special time of Christmas, you know, and bring the young kids to the older kids like us happy about the whole thing.
And we've got our set decked out for Christmas, so
Yeah.
you know.
That's what's count, you know. It's not the size of the gift that is important, is the thought behind it.
Yes.
Well, let's look a little bit at those pictures, and then we'll be back with some other comments for you folks for Christmas. was a Christmas train, Peter.
Yes, very nice photos.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's from many different places.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
because our Christmas train does not only do Canada from east
It
coast
does-
to west coast,
Does the U.S. as well.
but it does the U.S. It goes from north to south.
Yep.
You know.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I think it's more than one Christmas train.
I believe from what I understand is that there's at least two of them. One goes across Canada, one goes across the States.
And this year's down in the state, they add on some KCS.
KCS, yeah, I guess that's involved now too. Yeah.
Yeah, which is great, you know. What would they like to receive from you is comments, you know.
Oh yeah, send us any comments that you want. We look at them, and you know, if you've got any kind of suggestions or ideas that help us with our show, we're
Yeah.
more than willing to have a
Well,
look at them.
if we receive donations from you, and the money we receive from our sponsors and that type of thing goes towards new equipment, so that we can improve the show. Even if we have been doing it for 4 years, we're
Yeah,
still learning.
We're still looking for
You know.
ways of improving. Yeah.
Yeah, well, we're just simple guys doing simple work, you know, and enjoying the hobby.
Yeah, we're just big kids.
Yeah. What do we got coming in 2024, Peter?
2024. Oh, we right now. Actually, I guess we have a head scratcher with our shorts. We have some electrical issues that we're trying to get our heads around.
Well, sometime those problems resolve by themselves.
We did discover that it wasn't the locomotives that were having problems.
No.
It was the layout itself. So
And everything is wired properly. That's the
Yeah,
funny part
yeah.
of it.
and I know we did some movement on some of the track that was already down, but from what our track guys say, you know, there was nothing changed as far as wiring, but there you go.
Yeah, well, mystery.
Electrical issues that we have to resolve.
Yeah, mystery and bubblegum. Also, well, 2024 will bring a lot of scenery work, you know.
Yes, we're at the point where we can start doing segments of scenery. We're just finishing up the lift-out section on the mountain.
Yes,
So once that's done, we can finish the painting of the mountains, and
Yes.
then we're ready to go scenery-wise.
yeah. And the scenery in between the Rockies and the Selkirk,
Yes.
you know,
yeah.
that little village there.
A little
that,
village in the valley. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and we'll be starting finally to work on the Fraser River.
Yes. That'll be the.
That's long overdue.
Yep. No, it's coming along. Once we get, I mean, there's a lot of mountains that we've made, and that was the big project.
Well, 55 feet of it.
Yeah. So now that we're basically at the end of the roughed-in mountains, now we can.
Going right up to the ceiling with those mountains. It's pretty impressive because when the train run into it with all the zigzag and so on, it looked really good.
Well, we've got some nice gentle S curves along
Yep.
the Fraser. So,
Yeah. And, you know, on a layout, everybody's got a little idea here and there and so on. One thing is good also is when you put your layout together, you're building some buildings and you put them in different locations and so on, and you make sure that when you paint those buildings, you don't paint them all the same colors, you know, because you want some views that are different. It's also the fact is you don't really want to put a 3-story right in the front and a 1-story in the back. You know, you kind of go in an upward way, which start to give you a forced perspective.
Yes.
You know, but at time you do not have much choice about the building that you will put there. Example in point, Peter, is I already started to build some buildings that will go into Winnipeg, the city of Winnipeg.
Yep.
It's track on both sides, but that portion in there, the size of the building, some are humongous, some are smaller, some are probably one story or whatsoever, and you do not have ton of streets in there, but you have some.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
So that is the last major project, technically, as far as building. That and the elevator, the grain elevator in Thunder Bay, and the port.
Yep.
I will say within a year that would be all done.
Yep.
You know, and then it would be very enjoyable to run the layout.
Yeah.
What would be a little less enjoyable for us, Peter, is to go connect all those building light underneath of the layout.
Yes, well, we have at least one more trip under the layout, that's for sure.
Yeah, and the panels are not all completed yet. So, so folks, we wish you from the CMR and from It's Train Time, or crews, or people involved with the show, very, very Merry Christmas.
And all the best in 2024.
Yes, and you probably will start the New Year's with new trains or
Hopefully.
new models and whatsoever. Send us pictures, share it with us, you know, so we can share it with the others. After all, the hobby is a hobby of sharing ideas, you know. We don't know everything, but we can learn from you, you know, from everyone. Everybody we meet in the hobby, they teach us something.
Absolutely.
Eh?
Yep. No, it's that's the whole idea behind the hobby, is if you can share ideas, somebody's got a easier, maybe better way of doing something, and
better techniques and so on. And when you put them all together, you end up with a technique of your own.
Yep, absolutely.
So to all our friends,
Merry Christmas.
Yes, and a Happy New Year's, with a lot of modeling project for you guys, and we'll be more than glad to see you again in January, starting with the first episode of season 5, which would be episode 49.
Yes. We'll see you next year.
Have a
Enjoy.
good Christmas. Enjoy.